You wake up. The alarm goes off. And for a moment, just a moment, you remember the person you wanted to become. The goals you set. The fire you felt. But then, nothing. A strange emptiness. A heavy fog that settles over your mind. You go through the motions. You do the work. But the drive, the why, it's gone. You tell yourself you're just tired. That it's just a phase. That tomorrow, the motivation will return. But tomorrow comes, and the silence within you remains. What if I told you, it's not your fault? What if the very foundation of your daily life, the routines, the habits, the small choices you make without a second thought, are systematically, silently, killing your motivation? You've been searching for a spark, trying to light a fire, all while unknowingly pouring water on the kindling. This is not a lecture on working harder. This is an autopsy of the invisible forces that leave you feeling hollow. This is about the habits that are secretly killing your motivation.
Look around at the modern world. We are surrounded by more opportunity, more comfort, more access to information than any generation in history. We have apps for productivity, podcasts for inspiration, books on unlocking our potential. We are told to hustle, to grind, to never stop. The message is clear: if you lack motivation, you lack character. You are weak. You are not trying hard enough. This is the great lie. And we believe it. We internalize it. When we feel that inner resistance, when we hit the snooze button for the third time, when we stare at a blank screen with a blank mind, we feel a deep sense of shame. We think, what is wrong with me? We compare our behind-the-scenes struggle to everyone else's highlight reel, and we conclude that we are broken. But here is the truth. Motivation is not a personality trait. It is not a fixed resource you are born with. Motivation is a state. It is a delicate ecosystem within your own mind. And like any ecosystem, it can be poisoned. It can be choked. It can be starved. You have not lost your way. You have been led astray by forces so subtle, so integrated into your daily life, that you no longer even recognize them as threats. They are the silent assassins of ambition, the quiet killers of your drive. Today, we will expose them. We will drag these hidden habits into the light, one by one. We will understand their mechanism, their poison. And in doing so, we will not just be diagnosing a sickness, we will be writing the prescription for its cure. This is the journey from emptiness to execution, from fog to clarity, from a heart that has grown quiet, to a spirit that beats with purpose once more. Are you ready to listen? This is the most insidious, the most socially accepted, and the most deadly of all the motivation killers. We live in a world engineered for comfort. Climate-controlled environments. Endless entertainment in our pockets. Food delivered to our door with a single tap. We have been sold a dream, that the good life is a life free from discomfort, free from friction, free from struggle. And we have bought it. Wholesale. But here is the catastrophic error, the contradiction that is slowly eroding your will. Motivation is born in the space between where you are and where you want to be. It is the tension of dissatisfaction. It is the creative friction of a problem unsolved. It is the energy generated by a meaningful struggle. When you systematically remove all struggle, all discomfort, from your life, you are not creating paradise. You are building a cage. You are draining the very fuel your spirit needs to run. Think of a muscle. A muscle, left in perpetual comfort, never challenged, never strained, will not become strong. It will atrophy. It will weaken until it cannot perform even the most basic of tasks. Your will, your drive, your motivation, it is a psychological muscle. And you are letting it atrophy in the plush, padded cell of modern comfort. You hit the snooze button because leaving the warm bed is uncomfortable. You scroll through social media because doing the deep, focused work is uncomfortable. You choose the easy task over the important one because facing the possibility of failure is uncomfortable. Every time you choose the path of least resistance, you are not making a simple, harmless choice. You are casting a vote for a weaker version of yourself. You are telling your nervous system, we do not do hard things here. And your nervous system listens. It downgrades your ambition. It lowers your energy to match your diminished environment. I want you to think of a time you truly felt alive. Truly felt motivated. I am not talking about fleeting happiness from a new purchase or a like on a post. I am talking about a deep, resonant sense of aliveness. Were you comfortable? Or were you challenged? Were you safe? Or were you on the edge of your capabilities, learning, growing, pushing against a resistance that made you stronger? The athlete feels it in the burn of the last repetition. The artist feels it in the frustrating, beautiful struggle of a blank canvas. The entrepreneur feels it in the terrifying, exhilarating leap into the unknown. They are not comfortable, but they are alive. Their motivation is not a theory, it is a fire, forged in the friction of their efforts. Your obsession with comfort is a silent agreement you have made to never feel truly alive again. It is the habit of choosing a slow, quiet death over the vibrant, messy, and sometimes painful experience of growth. It is the first habit you must break. Your phone is not a tool. It is a slot machine. Every notification, every ping, every refresh is a potential reward, a hit of dopamine designed to keep you hooked. You have invited 1,000 tiny interruptions into the sacred space of your mind, and you wonder why you cannot concentrate. You wonder why your motivation for deep, meaningful work has vanished. This is not a minor issue. This is a fundamental rewiring of your brain's attention economy. Motivation requires a single, focused point of ignition. It requires you to hold an idea, a goal, a vision in your mind long enough for it to catch fire. But you are never allowing it to catch fire. You are giving it a fraction of a second before you snuff it out with a swipe, a tap, a scroll. You sit down to work on your project. A thought arises. A difficult problem. Instead of sitting with the discomfort, you reach for your phone. Just for a second. Just to check. And in that moment, you have switched tracks. You have moved from the difficult high-value track of creation to the easy, low-value track of consumption. Your brain, being an efficient organ, quickly learns the pattern.
When things get hard, escape into the digital world.
You are training yourself to be unmotivated. This constant context switching has a devastating cost. It creates what psychologists call attention residue. When you switch from task A, your important work, to task B, checking a message, a part of your focus remains stuck on task A. Your cognitive resources are divided.
You are never fully anywhere.
You are in a state of perpetual mental fog, never achieving the state of flow, that deep, immersive state where time disappears and motivation is self-sustaining. You finish a day of work where you were technically at your desk for 8 hours, but you feel exhausted, empty, and unaccomplished. This is why. You have been juggling 100 different threads of attention, and you have not woven a single one into something meaningful. The digital world offers you the illusion of connection, of being informed, of not missing out. But what is it truly costing you? It is costing you your ability to be bored. And boredom is the incubator of genius. It is in the quiet, uninterrupted spaces of the mind that new ideas form, that creativity sparks, that motivation to build something new is born. By filling every spare moment, waiting in line, sitting on the toilet, the few seconds of silence in a conversation, with your phone, you are killing the very conditions that motivation needs to grow. You are treating the symptoms of boredom with a digital drug, while the disease of disconnection from your own purpose spreads. Your phone is the ultimate motivation killer because it offers a cheap, immediate alternative to the hard, rewarding work of building a meaningful life. It is the tyrant that rules from your pocket, and until you dethrone it, your motivation will remain its prisoner. You are what you consume. Not just the food you eat, but the information you digest, the media you ingest, the conversations you absorb. And we are living in an age of infinite consumption. We consume content, news, opinions, other people's lives, at a rate that is utterly unprecedented in human history. And we confuse this consumption for progress. You watch a video about motivation. You read a book on productivity. You listen to a podcast about success. And you feel a temporary surge of energy. You feel like you are moving forward. But this is an illusion. You are a spectator. You are in the stands, watching someone else play the game of their life, and you are mistaking their action for your own. Motivation is not a spectator sport. Motivation is a verb. It is the energy for action. And action is the one thing consumption replaces. Every hour you spend consuming is an hour you are not spending creating. Every brilliant idea from someone else that you absorb is an idea of your own that you are suffocating. You are filling your mental space with other people's thoughts, other people's victories, other people's journeys, until there is no room left for your own. This creates a hidden, psychological dependency. You become a motivation junkie, constantly needing another hit of inspiration from an external source because you have never built the internal generator. Your drive becomes contingent on the next video, the next quote, the next seminar. It is not self-sustaining. It is borrowed, and it has a very short half-life. Furthermore, this endless consumption creates what I call the comparison catastrophe. You are constantly measuring your unedited behind-the-scenes life against the curated, polished highlight reels of others. You see their success, their perfect bodies, their exotic travels, their business victories. And you subconsciously think, I could never do that. Or, why is my life not like that? This comparison does not breed motivation. It breeds resentment, insecurity, and paralysis. It makes your own goals seem so distant, so impossible, that the motivation to even start evaporates. Why run the race if everyone is already miles ahead? You must shift the balance. You must move from a life of passive consumption to a life of active creation. Even if it is small. Write 1 page instead of reading 10. Record a short video instead of watching 100. Sketch a business idea instead of listening to a podcast about business. The moment you create, you are no longer a passive consumer of the world. You are an active participant. You are telling your brain, I am the one who builds things here. And that act, no matter how small, generates a unique, powerful, and self-renewing form of motivation. It is the motivation that comes not from watching a fire, but from striking the spark yourself.
You have a vision in your mind. A perfect vision. The perfect business launch. The perfect body.
The perfect novel. It is flawless, brilliant, and magnificent. And it is utterly, completely paralyzing. This is the poison of perfectionism. It disguises itself as a virtue. It masquerades as having high standards. But in reality, it is the enemy of all progress. It is the habit of prioritizing the illusion of a perfect future over the reality of an imperfect present. Perfectionism is not about excellence. It is about fear.
Fear of jugement.
Fear of failure. Fear of being seen as inadequate. So you procrastinate.
You plan endlessly.
You research obsessively. You tell yourself, I will start when I have the perfect plan, the perfect conditions, the perfect skills. But that day never comes.
And so, the project remain untouched. The goal remain a distant dream.
Your motivation, which should be directed towards action, is instead wasted on anxiety, on planning for a non-existent future, on protecting a fragile ego. Perfectionism kills motivation because it severs the link between effort and reward. In a healthy mindset, you take a small action, you get a small result, and you feel a small reward, a trickle of dopamine, a sense of momentum. This positive feedback loop fuels your motivation to take the next step. But in the perfectionist's mind, anything less than perfect is a failure. So that small action, that imperfect first draft, that clumsy first attempt, is not seen as a victory. It is seen as evidence of your inadequacy. The feedback loop is negative. It punishes you for trying. And the brain wisely learns, trying leads to pain. Therefore, do not try. You're waiting for a level of motivation so powerful that it will allow you to leap over all the messy, imperfect, intermediate steps and land directly on the peak of perfection. This motivation does not exist. It is a myth. The greatest creators, the most prolific artists, the most successful entrepreneurs, they are not perfectionists. They are completionists. They understand that done is better than perfect. That a good plan executed today is far superior to a perfect plan executed never. They embrace the shitty first draft. They ship the product with known bugs. They launch before they feel ready. Why? Because they understand that motivation does not precede action. Action precedes motivation. The very act of starting, no matter how poorly, generates the momentum that then fuels further action. It creates a gravitational pull that draws you forward. Your perfectionism is a form of self-sabotage. It is a castle you build in the sky to avoid the hard, messy work of laying bricks on the ground. You must tear that castle down. You must give yourself permission to be a beginner. To be clumsy. To be imperfect. To fail publicly. The goal is not to have a perfect journey. The goal is to have a journey. To be in motion. It is in motion that you will find the motivation you are so desperately seeking while standing still. You have goals. You want more money. You want a better job. You want to get in shape. These are the whats of your life. But you have neglected the most important question: why? Why do you want more money? Is it for security? For freedom? To provide for your family? To prove your worth? Why do you want a better job? Is it for status? For challenge? To use your unique gifts? Why do you want to get in shape? Is it for health? For confidence? To feel alive in your body? If your why is weak, superficial, or borrowed from someone else, your motivation will be weak, superficial, and fleeting. It will evaporate at the first sign of difficulty. Most people are running on someone else's why. Society's why. The why of their parents, their peers, their culture. Make money. Get married. Buy a house. Appear successful. These are prepackaged whys, and they have no power to sustain you through the inevitable storms of doubt, boredom, and failure. When your actions are not connected to a deep, personal, emotional core, they become chores. They become burdens. You are like a ship with a full sail but no rudder. You move, but you are at the mercy of the wind, easily blown off course. The slightest resistance, a difficult task, a critical comment, a bad day, is enough to make you quit. A powerful why is your anchor. It is your internal compass. It is the source of grit. When you know deep in your bones why you are doing something, the how becomes manageable. The obstacles become challenges to be overcome, not stop signs. Think of a parent working 2 back-breaking jobs. The work itself is grueling, demeaning, exhausting. Why don't they quit? Why is their motivation so unshakable? Because their why, their child's future, is so powerful, so visceral, that it transmutes the pain into purpose. The difficulty is not a reason to stop, it is a testament to the importance of their mission. You must dig. You must go beneath the surface-level goals and find the bedrock of your own values. What truly matters to you? What pain do you want to alleviate? What beauty do you want to create? What legacy do you want to leave? What makes you feel truly, utterly alive? This is not an easy process. It requires brutal honesty. It requires silence and introspection, away from the noise of the world telling you what you should want. When you connect your daily actions, your habits, your goals, to a why that is authentically yours, something shifts. The energy is no longer forced, it is drawn forth. You are not pushing yourself, you are being pulled by a vision of a future that you find deeply, personally meaningful. This is the difference between willpower and willpower, the power that comes from a will aligned with a profound purpose. Without this, you are just going through the motions. You are a ghost in the machine of your own life, wondering why the engine of your motivation refuses to turn over. We have walked through the Shadowlands. We have identified the 5 silent assassins, the pursuit of constant comfort, the tyranny of the digital distraction, the disease of endless consumption, the poison of perfectionism, the absence of a meaningful why. Knowing their names is the first battle, but the war is won in the field of your daily life. Right now, you stand at a crossroads. You can close this video and return to the world unchanged, the same habits playing out, the same emptiness waiting for you tomorrow morning. Or you can choose a different path. This is your call to action. Not a loud, dramatic, one-time event, but a quiet, relentless, daily rebellion. Your rebellion starts with a single deliberate act of discomfort. Tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, you will not hit snooze. You will get up. Immediately. You will feel the cold floor beneath your feet. You will embrace the friction. This is you, telling your soul that comfort no longer rules you. Your rebellion continues with the dethroning of the digital tyrant. For 1 hour each day, the first hour of your work perhaps, you will turn off all notifications. You will put your phone in another room. You will sit with the silence and the difficulty of focused work. You will retrain your brain to find its reward in creation, not in consumption. Your rebellion is fueled by a shift from consumption to creation. Today, before the sun sets, you will create one small imperfect thing. A paragraph. A sketch. A plan. A meal. It does not matter what it is. It only matters that you move from the audience to the stage of your own life. Your rebellion is solidified by the murder of perfectionism. You will choose one thing you have been putting off because it wouldn't be perfect, and you will do it badly. You will send that email with typos. You will post that video with poor lighting. You will start that workout even though you don't know the right form. You will prove to yourself that done is better than perfect. And finally, your rebellion is given wings by the discovery of your why. This week, you will take 1 hour. 1 single hour of total solitude. With a notebook. And you will write at the top of the page, what is truly important to me? And you will write. You will not stop until you have moved past the clichés and reached the raw, honest truth of what makes your heart beat. This why will become the mantra you return to every time the fog descends. This is not a 5-step program to instant motivation. This is a fundamental reorientation of your life. From passive to active. From consumer to creator. From comfortable to courageous. The habits that were secretly killing your motivation, they can be replaced. One by one. Day by day. The silence within you can be filled with the sound of your own purpose. The fog can be burned away by the fire of your own actions. It begins now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now.